All right. I realized that some of my demos kind of are not as quick and precise as some people would like. So I'm going to do one right now on taking your grayscale image that you just created for your exercise 2 and turning it to color. So I can take an image that's value. This is one of my pieces from when I was a student. The concept was fear, like phobia. So I chose to do fear of drowning, and I had a friend pose with a blanket on a beach chair, one of those lounging beach chairs in my apartment, and then I invented the wall behind him. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna turn my face off. Down here, I'm gonna pull this up so you all can see. Oops. I'm gonna pull this up so you can all see. I'm gonna pull Photoshop up so you can all see. Down here is an adjustment layer button, and it has hue and saturation. So if you click that, you get the hue and saturation pop-up. This button, this little checkbox right here, is called Colorize. You hit that. See how it all became really red? Since this piece is about drowning, I'm going to move the slider to something cool, like water. Okay? And that's what I mean when I say colorize your image. You may select different areas, and let me plug in my tablet. And I'm just going to use the magic wand tool, but normally I would use something else. I would use a layer mask, but I'm just going to do it super rough, just so that we can just for the sake of picking it quickly, I am going to do another adjustment layer, hue and saturation, but it only affects the face and skin here. So if I hit colorize right there and move it to a flesh tone that I kind of want, and just get it to that stage. And over here, the mask that's created, it's not clean, but I could just take the finger tool and just scooch it over. And this is just really about getting the color in this area, just started. Nothing particularly fancy or difficult. Now, this is not necessarily a substitute for painting, but I basically got it started. I've got the blue-ish blanket, giving us that feeling of water. We've got him with a kind of a flesh tone. And I could still tweak it too. I'm not really happy with this color. I can also have it where I only want the skin that's catching light to have that color. I can delete the part where his shadow would be, or I can just do the shadow area. So if I just draw this shadow part under his chin and not control you, but another adjustment layer, and I shift it cooler, something, and maybe darker. And this is all about speed in getting the colors just on there and trying to use as much of your drawing that you've already done. Because once you have this, then you can start changing the colors and merging the layers together and painting. So for example, right now the layer mask here is only doing this chin. If I erase the black of the layer mask, then white will pop out. So if I erase, and now it's starting to shift a little cool. I'm using a soft edge eraser. Oh no, I didn't want that. So I can control the edges over here. Like if I want to do his lips, this is all kind of tedious, to be quite honest. Like if I make a new hue and saturation layer, and this one I colorize as red or pink. Red is fine. This is just going to be for his lips. I'm going to hit Alt Delete to fill that whole thing in with black. And now I can erase his lips. Like you may need to crank it all the way up so you can see where you're working. But now I got his lips. And let's do another one. Let's do it for his teeth. Hue and saturation. And let's make his teeth a little bit more yellow-ish. Colorize. More yellow. And again, I only want the teeth, so I'm going to fill everything in black and then erase the hole where his teeth are. And his tongue should also be a little bit pink, so maybe I'll get that in there. And over here where his shadow for the inside of his mouth, that can be purple. So, I spent I don't know how many minutes on this, not very much at all, but I got it started. And if I don't like anything, I can just go back. So for example, the red of the lips here, that's too saturated. I can dial it back so it looks a little bit more normal. But the point is it's a start. Now I can, paint whatever colors I want on top of it, because I can just merge all the layers that I created over here, right? But this is all about speed, just getting it done really quickly. Like I could do another one here, like this one where his neck is. Let's do one to do highlights on his neck. So hue and saturation once again, colorize, yellow, lighter, fill this in black, option delete, and now I'm gonna erase over here where his chin is catching light. And the thing is, it's relying on how good your initial drawing was. Not liking that spot of light. So, I made something fast because I did not. Oh, here's the other thing to notice. The original drawing is still there. There's the black and white. And here's the color. I would still go in and change more colors. And then once I'm happy with some of the colors that I've laid in, then I can paint. I can paint on top of it. Paint on and get all the folds and everything of the fabric and whatnot. I can also go back down to the original drawing if I'm not happy with it. So if I'm down here with this drawing, I could create another adjustment layer. I'm going to do one with curves just for the sake of variety. And if I want to push the contrast, I can do this, and it does not affect the color. See, like here's the original, and I just kicked it up a notch. And I have so much more control over this little aspect of the original drawing. I really hope that I haven't confused anybody with this. I don't know how long this video is so far, but it just took me a few minutes, and that's what I wanted you guys to gain from this particular method. It isn't a painting method, it's a coloring method, a coloring of a black and white value piece. Okay? That's not to say you have to do it this way. I'm just saying start this way. You know, you can paint all your colors on top of your drawing. You can use multiply layers. So if I create a new layer down here, new layer, and I set this to multiply, and I pick a color, I'll just pick I don't know, red. Red, and it's multiply. I can, I need a brush. I'll use this brush. I'll use this hard edge brush so you can see. If I'm painting the color, you know, you can still see the drawing underneath. And if I change that color to whatever other color, see green or something, you can still see the drawing underneath because this is set to multiply. Alright? And you can do whatever you want to these colors too. Like smudge tool. Soften these edges. Feels like 3D glasses. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about here. But see how much coverage I got here just doing this? And I'm not even really painting, I'm just pushing the color around. Logically, these colors would affect his skin if he's surrounded by it. But, you know, it's just a simple way of getting color down fast. It's not painting. The other thing you could do is you could find colors from another complete separate image, photo, or painting, and just eyedropper the colors onto your black and white. So it's that easy. And even a lot of this I could even do with the mouse. But that is the demo for coloring a black and white image. I showed that R2-D2 one to a friend of mine, and he couldn't follow it. I hope you all can follow what I just did here. It's a weird method, and it's like from more, what do you call it, matte painting for movies. I took a class in matte painting, and it kind of changed the way I think about color and process. So, yeah, I'm really interested in helping students get projects done fast and have them look halfway decent, you know, because we all have lives. We're all juggling different things. You know, we need to be able to deliver to our clients the things they need in a timely manner with quality. And the lesson here is, as long as your image, the values are solid and they read, any color will work. Because even if I take this thing and not even using a layer mask, I'm just hitting Control U, Command U, that pulls up the hue and saturation, I can drag the hue of what I just painted and change it completely, you know? But because the value is there, it reads clearly, you know? I can pick out sections because right here it's still affected by it'll be affected by the what do you call it, magic wand. I can grab the color, this big area of color, and only affect that area. So, and I'm just doing this with the normal filter, the normal adjustment, not a layer mask. The whole point of layer masks is that, and adjustment layers, is so that you can change everything later on. So now I'm only affecting the blanket. I didn't really pick it clean, that's why you've got this blur on the edge here. But yeah, you can just select the parts that you want to affect and move the color around. It's that simple. And that's what I did with that Miyagi piece. I just started painting black and white, hit colorize, let it colorize, and then start painting colors on top of it. Okay, so I hope that's clear. I hope you guys understand it, and good luck to you all.